Hey, welcome to Local Legacy. I'm your host, Nick Smith, where I sit down one-on-one, interview cool people with cool jobs and some amazing stories. Hey guys, welcome back to our newest episode of Local Legacy. I got my man here, Danny Garcia, with Alliance Bath Reglazing and Ace Renovations, Inc. Not only is he operator, but also president of both of those companies. Yes, sir. A local man that does great business, but also gives back a ton and has a really, really cool story. As you guys know, cool people, cool jobs, well, cool stories is what we're about here. So we're going to get into it, man. Break us down a little bit. Give us an overview of Alliance Bath Reglazing and what that company does.
So Alliance Bath Reglazing, we specialize in strictly refinishing. So countertops, bathtubs, tile walls, cultured marble tubs, and walls. So instead of ripping out your bathtub, we paint them. We make them look brand new again. So imagine taking your old car to the body shop, right? You have all the cracks, the holes, the dents, the rust repairs. We do the same exact thing, but to your bathtub. Only difference is we go to your house.
You don't got to take your bathtub.
You don't got to take your bathtub to the shop.
That's fantastic. How did you get into that industry?
Well, I was going to school. I tried school, community college, and it just wasn't working out for me, right. Man. I put the word around, found a job that was looking for some help, and it turned out to be a refinishing company. And I went in as a prepper, the bottom of the totem pole. Became a prepper, eventually became a technician, eventually became a supervisor, then a sales rep, then a general manager. And 15 years later, I finally got the courage to say, I got to start this on my own, man.
Yeah. Holy smokes. That's fantastic. Yeah. Was that the plan going into it always? Or was it just, I need a job? And
you know, man, I always had an entrepreneur spirit in me since I was a kid. Right. But, I think at that point in my life, I just wanted a steady job, and any job that I took on, I just wanted to be the best at it, bro.
100%.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to be number one.
Yeah.
And eventually, as I started getting into it, I was like, man, I really like this. I'm having fun with this, right? And 15 years later, hustling with everybody that I know,
yeah,
I just said, you know what? I'm doing it for him. Why can't I do it for me?
Right. You know, let's cut that guy out.
Yeah.
100%. And then that transitioned into Ace Renovations?
Yeah. So when I was living in San Jose, that's when I finally got the courage. Like, man, you know what? Because where I come from, San Diego, Logan Heights, there's not too many people that are successful there.
Okay.
Right. And if you're successful, it's on the wrong side of doing things.
Right. You're not filing taxes.
Yeah, exactly. So, I always had it in the back of my head, man, like, where you come from, you just don't own a business, bro. And if it's a business, it's not a legit business.
Gotcha.
It's just funny. It's a long story, but just one day, something just clicked. Something said, you know what? You can do this, man. You can do this. You can make this happen. And I got with my wife and I told her, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sell this house. We're going to move to a little Mayberry place called Brentwood, California, right? And we're going to sell this house. We're going to buy some vehicles. We're going to do whatever we got to do to make this happen. Because if it doesn't happen, we're probably working at Burger King or Walmart.
Right. We're all in.
But I'm all in. I rolled the dice. My wife said, let's do it. And we did it, man, and we caught wind, we caught fire very fast. And it's just not myself; it's my wife, my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law. It's four of us. I'm the president, but it's a team, man. Like I tell everybody, we come together like Voltron, bro. Right? Where we play to each other's strength. Right. You're good at that. You're good at that. I'm good at this. And the best thing, bro, is they allow me to do what I do, and that's connecting with people, bro.
Right.
Talking with people, chopping it up, man, getting to know, right? Getting my foot in the door, right? I'm a hard person to tell you, no. I'm going to figure it out one way or another. Yo, you're going to let me in this door.
You're not coming, right? Coming back, and you're coming back.
So after 6 months, we were already at 4 employees.
Oh, wow.
Right? Work started coming in fast. And maybe another 6 months down the line. So I knew this guy working in San Jose. His name was Juan Montalvo. He's a general contractor. And after a year in the business, he calls me out of the blue and says, hey, man, I got another job opportunity, another business opportunity. And he tells me what he wants to do. And we're sitting at a bar table, eating, having a cold brew. And we drew it up on a napkin. And 2024, we have 26 employees. We're on the way to probably going to end up with about 40 employees at the end of this year. That's just how busy we are.
Yeah.
And we have over a dozen subcontractors working under us as well.
Okay.
We service anywhere from San Francisco to San Jose, Sacramento, out here to Brentwood.
Okay. So wide area. So what is Ace Renovations? What do you guys? What's your thing?
We're a renovation company.
Okay.
So we work predominantly with apartments, right? Mm-hmm. So as people move out, they hire us to either one, turn the unit, or rip everything out.
Okay.
Right, and then just renovate it. So new cabinets, new counters, plumbing, electrical, painting, flooring, all the good stuff.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
You guys are the reason the deposits are so high.
Yeah. Pretty much.
No, you take care of your stuff.
Yeah,
you get your money back. So that's incredible. Did you have a relationship with him prior to that?
Yeah. So he worked for a general contractor that the company I was working with before was contracted with. So I would see him on job sites. So I met him in '08, right? He was a guy that would inspect the tubs after we were done.
Okay.
Right? He worked at an apartment complex where we were reglazing over 400 tubs a year, right? So his job was to inspect all the subcontractors, make sure they were doing. So he got to know me because I always like to go back and do a quality control, right? It's making sure there's no runs in our reglaze, there's no bubbles, reactions, or dust, or just to ask, hey, how are my technicians? Did they take care of your property? Were they in uniform? Was my truck clean? Is this a vehicle you even want on your property? So I got to know him very well.
Yeah.
And we started taking lunches. And one day he just told me, he's like, man, I love your hustle, bro.
Yeah.
Like you move, man, and you're always showing up. You're always here. And, we just kind of got to know each other. And when I told him I'm starting my business, he was like, bro, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
What took you so long? Right? No, he would always tell me that. What took you so long? I've been telling you, bro.
Yep.
And he gave me that phone call, and he gave me that phone call in 19. Right? And we opened in 2020, bro.
Oh, my goodness.
In the middle of 2020.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I didn't tell my wife.
Oh,
I didn't tell my wife because I knew she was pregnant at the time. We had the first business going. Yeah. I was like, dude, if I did,
it's not broke. Why are we trying to?
Yeah, right? If I tell her, she's probably gonna put me in the headlock, right? So I was like, no, I'll tell her once we get the business going and once we're up and going, then she could throw whatever she wants to throw at me.
Right.
We can no running back now.
Yeah.
And, but the reason for that was, like, when I tell you I started to believe in myself, like I started, like, my visions and my dreams just started to grow overnight. I can't explain it. I try to tell people, like, just the way I started thinking, the way I started to approach people, the way I carry myself, the words that come out of my mouth, like everything just started to evolve positively, So when he came to me with that offer, I'm telling you, man, like we're at the table, and I seen it. I seen how this works because I'm already in the apartment industry.
Right.
I already have all these connections.
Right.
I can make sure we grow overnight.
Right.
Right. And from that point on, I knew there was one person missing in that equation. Was my partner, Ivan Canales. So I called him and said, hey, with me, you, and him on the same team with our backgrounds,
right,
man, we killed it, bro.
That's
killed it. In 2024, 24 guys, and we're on our way to hire about 20 more. And over a couple dozen subcontractors that we use daily. I mean, we don't say no to work. We'll figure it out.
Right, you'll get it done.
We'll get it done.
You get it done. Put it on the schedule.
We'll figure it out.
It's interesting that you said that he was wondering what took you so long.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, that's part of the maturing and that growing process. Like, people see it in you sometimes before you see it in yourself. Right. We're always the last one to be like, you know what, I can't.
Yeah.
But why not me?
What?
Right? So it's like that external validation
Yeah.
that we internalize it, and now look at you just pouring it out there to everybody else.
You know, and and he wasn't like it. What led me up to the jump was there was a lot of people that were telling me that.
Right.
And I'm telling you, like, and every time I would hear someone say, "You can do it," we see you doing it, I had it so triggered and brainwashed in my head that where I come from, that's just not possible.
Mm.
Right? It's just not possible. What I also learned was there's not much I can do on my own. Right? I can do a lot, but I can do a lot more if I surround myself with the right team. Yep. Right? And once I really figured that out and I put the right people and the right team around me, man, I tell you, for Alliance Bath Reglazing, we're the biggest reglazing company in the Bay Area. And that I know of, we have a couple matching other companies, but on the other side of the country. Mm. Right? So we're on the West Coast, we're probably the biggest reglazing company that people know of. Right? Definitely hands down in the Bay Area.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. That's crazy. So you've mentioned the childhood twice.
Yeah.
Let's dial it back a little bit.
All right.
And bring up what was that like? You said it wasn't the best.
No.
But what was that like, and how did that help kind of mold?
And again, man, I'm from Southeast San Diego, a little neighborhood called Logan Heights. It wasn't during the 80s and 90s. It wasn't a really fun place or a good place to raise kids, right?
Was it like you see San Diego on the beaches?
No, not now, man. And then you know what? I go back to the neighborhood as often as I can. And
okay.
It's so many positive changes, man. What they're doing with the baseball fields in the community and the artwork and involving more people positively to point these kids in the right direction. But yeah, so my mom was a single mom. She had 3 kids. I had a brother and a sister. They're both 10 and 9 years older than me. So I was pretty much raised on my own.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I had to spend a lot of time at home. Yeah. And the place we lived was not the best. So they lived, Section 8 style living. They have rats and roaches and you name it. It was walking around everywhere, man. But the one thing that I think stood out for me was a lot of the times my mom would take me to work with her.
Okay.
Right? So there'd be times I would have to go to work with her at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we wouldn't get home till like maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. Oh, wow. We can take the bus. And what you see on the bus at 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes in the neighborhood is rough. And what you see outside the windows is rough. I don't really want to go into detail.
Right. Yeah.
No, you can use your imagination.
Yeah, I got you.
But I think like what helped me to this day was the work ethic my mom had.
Yeah.
Right. I understood from a very early age why she had to work. Right. I noticed that a lot of my friends had fathers and mothers, right? And I noticed with me, I didn't have a father, and I wasn't really connected to my brother or my older sister there. I mean, I was like 6 years old. They were 16, 17. They had their own life.
Completely different places in life.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember the drill sergeant that my mom became when we got to work, man, we got to do this, and we got to do that, and we got to do this, and you're in charge of the baseboards. You get your rag, your napkins, and you clean all the baseboards, right?
What mom did we live?
We clean condominiums, houses, and in Coronado.
So you've been in this industry your whole life?
Yeah.
That's weird. Right? And weird that it worked out. Okay.
Right? So, but I tell you, one day she got an unexpected phone call to the condominium we were working in. And the owner said, I'm going to be there in 15 minutes. I need to get in there for a few minutes and get some personal stuff. So my mom would get in trouble if they knew I was there working. Yeah. Right. So she stuck me in the closet one time. And I remember this back of my head. The guy spoke English and was saying just horrible things. Right. And I wish I didn't understand what he was saying. But I just knew, like, one day I'm going to own a business and I'm going to treat my people with respect and love and honor, right? And that's kind of like, so like if I fast forward now, that's one thing for me that like I really tried, like, you're not just going to come work for anybody. You're going to come work for someone who's been there, who's struggled, understands that life, right? But also going back, if it wasn't for the little league that I was raised around or had the opportunity to play for, and a lot of our coaches weren't the best coaches, right? But they cared about the kids, right? Like some of them, you know, they were intoxicated while they were practicing, right?
Yeah.
But they would tell us, hey, you know, I'm telling you this because I don't want you to be like me. I don't want you guys to head down this avenue. Right. I'm here because I really want to help try to point you guys in the right direction. I have a problem, right? And I don't want you guys to develop this problem. And this problem happened because I didn't listen to my parents, right? So, you know, stay away from this. You know, come to the park, practice, and go straight home. All right. Don't go into alleys that you don't need to go into, right? And just learn how to say no, man. If someone's trying to force feed you drugs, tell them no. Right? Your real friends are going to be the ones that tell you, let's go this way, let's not go that way. Right? So I would, you know, I was blessed in many ways. And at the time, it didn't look like it.
Of course.
But as I get older, I realized, man, that guy was really looking out for us.
Yeah.
Right?
Genuinely cared.
Yeah. Right? And he was honest. Like, yeah, I'm a little intoxicated. I've been drinking, but I'm being honest with you guys. Right? Of course, you didn't go back home and tell your parents because...
No. He's the best coach. He's your best coach, right? Well, I really believe that you had your back.
Yes. There was also one person, his name was Jerome King.
Okay.
He lived down the street from us. He was law enforcement. I think he was a correctional officer.
Oh.
But he was like our big brother.
Okay.
Right? He was like a 6'5" black dude. Just an outstanding guy, man. Him and his wife, Coretta, he would teach us how to box.
Okay.
He'd bring out the boxing. He'd make us fight each other, but he'd teach us how to throw jabs and uppercuts. And he'd always tell us, man, you know, those lights come on. Those lights come on, you get your butt on. Mm-hmm. Right? Don't, you know, ain't nothing good happens after those lights come on. And that was one thing, man. Like, I never had the chance to tell him thank you, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's wild. It's interesting how you go through those trying, tough, hard times, and you can either use them, right, as a reason, or you can use them as an excuse, right? And you remember them, and what a foundation is built for you, where it's like, and I've seen the pictures, and I've seen you take your company out, and I've seen you post your videos of how you treat these people. You are not lying. It's like, and we're not just a company, we are a family. We're family. Without this, cut that off. Damage. You were on it too. No. Yeah, I've seen this like in real life, the way you treat people, and it's crazy how you take those lessons and you take to your company now, and it's really like a family. Like with the pictures I've seen, the posts that I've seen that you've created out there, it's like we don't just work together. We're not just a company. We are really a family, whether it's out in public or going to dinner or hanging out, man. You really have, from the outside looking in, have created an environment where the background and where you come from, it doesn't matter as much. You're going to thrive here, man. You're surrounded by the right people.
Yes.
We have your back, and honestly, we genuinely care. And to think that comes from the Little League coach, right? This part of it comes from a Little League coach who's half intoxicated himself, giving life lessons, right? But it just goes to show how impactful we can be on people's lives, and everybody can, right? Everybody can impact other people around them. So I love that story. There's a guy who grew up in Little League. I'm a huge Little League advocate. You know, So you mentioned a moment ago about going back to these jobs. I want to touch on that again. I want to dive a little bit deeper onto that process for you and how that kind of sets you apart from these other companies. And how many times do you do it? Like, what does that look like? Where you mentioned, is my truck clean? Like, who says that to, like, don't look in the worker's truck. You want like those details. Especially, I guess, with the reglazing and renovation business, the details really, really matter. So take me through that.
I want to be different, right? But I also want to do the right thing, right? To me, if someone's giving me an opportunity, they're giving me business, they're giving me money, right? I want to make sure they know they're taken care of when they're doing business with me. Right? So after we do the job, we try to get to at least 99% of every job we do. Right? We like to, one, check back in with the customer, right? Let them know we're on the property. Two, I like to ask a lot of questions. Hey, did you see my technician? Was he in uniform? That to me is very important, because if the technician's not in uniform, he's not following the protocol that we're providing for our customer. And we're not cheap, right?
Right.
In comparison to competition. So I want to make sure they get the full aspect and the full effect of Alliance Bath Reglazing and Ace Renovations. Why not use us?
Right.
Kind of vibe, right? I like to make sure that when we walk into the apartments that we're checking the tubs, we're checking for cleanliness, we're not leaving debris behind, we're not leaving tools behind, we're not leaving anything behind that belongs to us. So I like to tell my technicians, when you walk in there, when you leave out, try to leave it cleaner than it was.
Right.
Right. So if there's trash in there, if anything, get a trash bag and it takes you 2 minutes, man. Just throw it in there.
Yeah.
Throw it in there. Right. That's important. That separates us from our competition.
100%. Yeah. 100%. That's fantastic. And you create that culture top to bottom in the entire company.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of times I'm walking with some of my, not a customer, but one of my employees.
Yeah.
And I have the habit of, I'm walking on someone's property. For example, yesterday I was walking 2 units and there was trash on the floor on the sidewalk. It wasn't ours, but
Right.
I'm there. I pick it up,
Yeah.
clean it up, I put it away, and I throw it away. That's just, you can say it's probably me working with my mom for so many years, right?
Yeah.
It's just, I want to make sure I leave it nice and tidy for our customers.
Gotcha.
And I'm very appreciative of them giving them our business, or us getting their business.
Perfect. So you mentioned that when you decided to take the Ace Renovations jump,
Yeah.
you didn't tell a very specific person in your life. And as a man that's been married for a long time myself, I can imagine the fear.
Oh,
that
man.
must have been going through your mind. But tell me how it is. You work with your wife and some in the family.
Yeah.
How is that dynamic working so closely together?
Well, so I met her at the company that I started working with. That's where we met.
Okay.
Right? So it was like it's even to this day it's hard for me to explain, but we developed like a really once in a lifetime chemistry, not just with work, but as a couple, right?
Okay.
So as the time gone on, we just understood, like, she didn't have to finish a sentence, I'd finish a point, or vice versa, right? So I just knew when we started Alliance Bath Reglazing and how, we had our hiccups. We had 4 guys, and then sometimes 2 guys wouldn't show up to work, and I can go on and on. It was a roller coaster. Yeah. So at the moment we were going through Alliance Bath, kind of a roller coaster, and she was pregnant, right? And I was putting in a lot of hours. I'd leave home around 6 o'clock. I wouldn't get home till about 9 o'clock. Take a quick shower and then get back onto work with my phone, my laptop. So we kind of hit a rough period, right? But then Ace Renovations landed on my lap, and I was like, man, I just know if I tell her, I just know she's gonna swing at me with something. I tell you, she's like 4 feet tall, but when she's mad, she turns into a 7-foot monster.
Yep.
That's why I call her Mama Bear.
Yeah, there you go.
But I played my cards. I played chess. I'm like, if I tell her this and this will happen, if I don't tell her, at least I'll tell her once it's, we get the license, and once we're there, once we're started, there's no going back. There's no like, let's talk about this, right? Because I put myself, if I was her and she was coming telling me we're gonna start another business on top of this craziness, I would probably say no, we're not. Of course. Right. So I kind of did that math scenario, and we ended up doing it. But when I did have the courage,
that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah, how'd that? I didn't know how to box it.
I said, hey, you need to sit down for this one. And she, she had to be, I think she was probably 7 months pregnant at the time.
Okay.
So I said, I need you to sit. I just need you to just be open-minded here. Ooh. I need you to breathe, right? I removed anything that she could throw at me out the way. Started rubbing her feet, right? And I told, oh man, all hell broke loose. Oh, Mama Bear in full effect, And I'm bobbing and weaving, like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Mm-hmm. We just had this business, and we're going through all these issues.
Right.
Money's really tight right now. And, I'm just like, I know, but I just need you to bear down with me.
Yeah.
Right. The next 2 years is gonna be insane. I get it. Right.
Right.
I mean, but I'm not gonna go work at Walmart or Burger King.
Right.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because I see it.
Right.
I see it right here and I feel it right here. Right. And here we are now.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's so important. You guys had that such a strong relationship.
Yeah.
Obviously want to make it through that.
Yeah.
Story, right?
Yeah.
You survived it.
Yeah, we survived.
Right.
We survived.
And she believes in you.
And she believed it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And so you guys were able to.
You know, a couple weeks afterwards, you know, she after she calmed down.
Yeah. Yeah.
She, you know, she was like, man, you're going to hit the ground running.
Right.
You know? So, like, she's not really involved with ACE as much as she is with the Alliance.
Okay.
Michelle, man, she runs a tight ship. She runs the office.
Gotcha.
She's the leader of the crew, right? She handles most of the ownership meetings while I'm not there, right? She orchestrates a lot of stuff,
Nice.
right? But she's my right-hand man. She does everything that needs to get done when it needs to get done.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. So she was pregnant then.
Yeah.
How many kids do we have?
We have a total of 4. We
Okay.
have Danny, we have Kari, Bella, and then the little baby Camila Bear.
Oh, that's fantastic. I want to ask you birthdays because I want to set you.
You know, say
Nice. So when you guys are working, the day's done. What's that family time look like for you now versus maybe in the beginning when you guys first started or prior to having that company?
Oh man, you know, there wasn't many dinners at the very beginning, right? You know, dinners, I have to heat it up in the microwave, right? You know how it was, take a quick shower, get a quick rubbing, and get back to work.
Yeah.
But you know, fortunately now, you know, my son Danny, he works with ACE now. He's one of our
Okay.
He helps us
There you
out.
go.
Kari, she's getting ready to graduate from high school. So she's got a lot of school activities, after school activities.
Yeah.
She's very involved with the church that she goes to here, fellowship.
Okay.
My Bella, she's a softball player.
Oh, nice.
She's very involved with softball during high school and then travel ball.
Oh, yeah.
And then Camila Bear, she's a swimmer and a
Holy
T-ball player. So we right now,
You still don't have family.
I don't know how much at a time, but when we do,
Yeah.
what we do, Mama Bear puts her foot down,
Right. Yeah.
and we'll get a couple of good hours on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and we'll cook outside, we'll sit down, play games, we'll do some chess, right, dominoes, Uno,
Yeah.
but we spend time, the little time that we do get together, we make sure that they're memorable,
Yeah.
right, we make sure that we communicate, right, we fill each other in on what's going on, what are our goals, what are we doing, right?
Yeah.
If one of us is having a bad day, let's make sure we communicate that. Right?
Okay.
Because sometimes we all need a little pump. Right. Need that little shoulder bump. Hey,
Exactly.
everything's okay, man. Everything's gonna be good. Just keep working, keep grinding, stay positive, be true to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Don't veer off the path because you want to follow anybody. Right. Stay right here. Stay in your
Here you are repeating the same stories you had as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so crazy.
Yeah, I do it. I do it to my kids.
Yeah.
And I think I drive them crazy sometimes because for me as a child, I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have like a father figure.
Right.
And the one thing I needed a lot of the time was some encouragement. Right. To be reminded, like, you can do this. You got to believe in yourself. Right. And I don't know if that's the case, but I think what happened for me is I finally got to the age where something just triggered, and you know what? Like, now you're talking to a completely different Danny right now than 20 years ago.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
20 years ago, Danny would have said, "Oh, that's impossible. That would never happen."
Right.
There's no way. If you'd have asked me 25 years ago, you're going to be an owner of a president
Right.
of 2 companies, over 40 employees, doing multi-million dollars worth of work,
Right.
living in a place called Brentwood.
Right.
Right? No, serious.
Yep.
I would have said, you must have come back from the future with some crazy stuff.
Right. Yeah. What happened?
But thank God. I tell him all the time, man, he pointed me in the right direction. He kept me focused on a lot of things, but most importantly, he brought the right people into my life at the right time. And that person was Mama Bear. Right? She was a complete opposite of who I was. I was very wild and crazy and wanted to just party all the time and do dumb stuff. And she was the one like,
Right. This molded you.
come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Right.
We don't got to be too crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
can have fun. We can have the parameters of having fun.
But I need that. Yeah, I know. But my energy at the time, I can party till 6 o'clock in the morning, go to work at 7, no problem.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. So what's the future look like for the companies, right? We're talking about a lot of growth this year.
Yeah.
Are we thinking expansion? Are we thinking franchises? What does that look like maybe 5 years down the road? What is the plan? I mean, you're going to have kids that are going to be leaving, right? They're growing up. My oldest is just now a junior in high school, so I don't have any that are out of the world yet.
Yeah.
But it's something that goes through my mind. What does that look like in the future for you?
Wow, man, that's a great question. So before I would answer it, I would say
You'd ask Mama Bear?
no. I would answer it based on what most people would think I would say.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
So, but honestly, as time gone on, honestly, for me, I focus my time in the present right now. So what I mean by that is if I do my job right now and I kick butt at it, right, I make all the right moves. I look out not just for myself, but for everybody around me. That's going to dictate my future, right? Before, I was very impulsive, right? I didn't like, I would just do things to do it. I wouldn't really strategize. But now I finally hit the age where like, I'm playing chess every day. I wake up every day. Okay, what are the best moves to make that's going to be best for everybody around me? Not just me, but for my family, for my partners, and my employees, right? Because every decision that I make is going to affect everyone, right? But I know that the decisions I make are positive. They're not going to hurt anyone. They're not going to put anyone at risk, right? And we're still going to have jobs today and tomorrow. Do I want to continue to succeed? Of course, most definitely. I want ACE to be the biggest construction company in California, right along the world. For Alliance Bath Reglazing, I think that franchising is really something that we're definitely looking into. We've built a system that a lot of people can't recreate. We built a system that's not very easy in this industry, and I think that we have a secret that 99% of our competitors will probably never figure out, right? And we have it. So the goal is, and the idea is to eventually one day franchise.
Okay.
We're not sure when, but soon.
Right. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Danny, I mean, your story is one of a kind. It's fantastic. It's very inspirational.
Thank you.
I think the biggest takeaway from sitting here talking to you is believe in yourself. Other people believe in you.
Yeah.
And go and do it.
Yeah.
And do it. So I'll give you an opportunity if you want to, leave some information. How do people get in contact with you if they're interested in reglazing or they need construction or they just want to connect to you? First, that's how we connected. Yeah, person to person. Yeah, as a business.
Yeah.
So just let people know how they can get a hold of you if they'd like to.
All right. You can find us on Facebook, Alliance Bath Reglazing, or all social media, ACE Renovations Inc. My name is Daniel Ramon Garcia, so I'm not hard to find. Brentwood, California.
Man, that's fantastic. I appreciate you coming in and stopping by, man. That was a great time. And as always, thank you guys so much for checking out another episode of Local Legacy. If you would love to come in here, sit down and talk with me, I would love to have you in here. Cool people with cool jobs and cool stories. Sit down, have a conversation, or even if you got a cool passion project, something that you're passionate about that you want to share and get the word about, I'd love to have you come in and sit down. And you guys, as always, catch you on the next one.